In this lecture, we are now going to handle the functionality to allow the user verify their email address. So let's get into the test editor. So let's come back inside of Alt Controller. And then I'm just going to close this for now. And then we are going to come to the activation section. So right here, we want to inject in request. So Legato framework request. Save that to a variable request, and then we also want to get the code. So remember, when we sent the email, inside of the email there's a link which contains the code. So the code will be a fragment of this link. It's actually going to be the last part, so we can actually grab it inside of our controller, and then here we can do our basic check. So I'm not sure if we really need request here, but we could just leave it there for now. So we want to say user. It's going to be equal to the user model, where we want to say activation underscore code is equal to the code from the URL. And also we want to ensure that this user has not activated their account before. So we want to say activated is T0. So if activated is T0, that means this user has not yet activated their account. So let's go back again to our database, come here, and then see this feed activated. So activated here, the default is 0 for activated. So once this is T0, which is going to be the case if the user's just registered, then we are also going to check if there is a value here that matches the value that the user is supplying through the link. So those two use cases are true. We are going to grab the details of the user. Then here we can check if user is not instance of the user model, then we know that we did not get any record from here. So what we can do is to actually return the error view. So right here, we can say return view alt activation. We can then return it with an error. So we can say error is equal to, maybe something went wrong. I'll just say, please log in if you have already activated your account. Okay, so let's grab this and then bring it inside of here. Okay, so if this is not an instance of the user model, so we want to show the activation view, and then we want to show this error message. Otherwise, we want to still show the activation view, but now we just want to display a success message after activating the user's account. So we are now going to say user activate. So we activate the account, and then we return a view with a success message saying your account has been activated or your email address is confirmed. Your email address is confirmed. Okay, so to finish up the functionality, we need to go and create this function inside of the user model. So let's come inside of our models folder. Right here, we are going to say public function activate. So once we call this function, we want to do few things. First of all, we want to set the activated feed to be equal to 1. We want to delete the activation code and then set it to be equal to null and then save the data. So what we now need to do is to say this activated is equal to 1. Then we can say this activation underscore code should be equal to null. So we set the activation code to null, and then we can save this. So here I'll put a doc block, activate the user's account. And then the last thing that we now want to do is to update activation.blade.php. So we can grab most of the things from here, just paste them here. And then we want to actually delete the form. So let's delete this form. We only want to show success or errors. Okay, so, and then we want to maybe delete this. So I probably want to take that back because we still need a space at the top. So let's take this back and then let's put it here. Then let's just make this full screen. Then the title should now be activation or email verification. So we don't need the reCAPTCHA here, so we can get rid of that. Okay, so I think this is all we need to do, unless we want to put links here to allow the user to log in. So we can say P, then give this a class of MS Auto. The purpose of this class is actually to center the content, but we just see if that actually applies here. So login. Then the next one will be register. Okay, so that will be sign up or register, whichever you prefer. Okay, so we are now ready to test out the functionality. Just add the doc block here, activation controller. Okay, so we really did not use request here, so we can actually get rid of it. So if you don't mind, you can just leave it there. So let's now go to Mailtrap and then click on the activation link. Brings us back to our website and it says column not found, unknown column, activate code. Okay, so we made a mistake here in our query. So let's get back again to the user's model. So here I'm actually saying activation. So where is it getting activate code from? So let's come back here. Okay, so this is actually from our query, not the model. So I was wondering, because this is correct. So let's get back to the controller here. Okay, so this is the mistake there. So let's reload. Here it says, well done, your email address is confirmed. So there's a typo there. So let's just quickly correct that. And then right now, let's review our database. You can now see that activation code is now activated is set to 1. If we try to click again, we should now get an error code. Please log in if you have already activated your account. Okay, so that will be all for this lecture. In the next lecture, we are now going to program the login functionality.